Block 1. Stoic Opinion Diode. Hello, Stoic Nation. Welcome back to our shared journey toward tranquility, resilience, and a life of virtue. Today, we're forging a new tool for our mental arsenal, a concept so powerful it can fundamentally change how you interact with the world. We're going to build what I call the Opinion Diode. Now, you might be thinking, what on earth is a diode? In electronics, a diode is a fascinating little component. It's like a one-way street for electricity. It allows current to flow freely in one direction, but blocks it almost completely from flowing in the opposite direction. It's a gatekeeper, a filter, and we, as modern Stoics navigating a relentless storm of feedback, notifications, and judgments, need a mental version of this more than ever. Imagine having a built-in psychological mechanism that allows useful, constructive information to enter your mind while deflecting harmful, ego-driven noise. Picture this. Praise comes your way, and instead of inflating your ego and making you dependent on external validation, it passes through this diode, leaving behind only the valuable data about what you did well. Then, criticism arrives. It hits the diode, and the toxic, personal, and painful elements are blocked. They dissipate harmlessly. All that gets through is the potential lesson, the kernel of truth you can use to grow. This isn't science fiction. It's applied ancient wisdom. This is the Stoic Opinion Diode, and it's your key to absorbing praise without ego and enduring criticism without pain. The entire foundation for this mental technology rests on the cornerstone of all Stoic practice, the dichotomy of control. The great teacher Epictetus laid it out with perfect clarity. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. What's up to us? Our judgments, our intentions, our responses, our character. What's not up to us? Everything else. Our reputation, the weather, and, crucially, the opinions of other people. The praise you receive and the criticism you face are fundamentally external. They are outside your direct control. People will think what they will think based on their own experiences, biases, and moods. Trying to control their opinions is, in the Stoic view, a form of madness. It's like trying to command the tides. But here is the secret. While the opinion itself is external, your reaction about that opinion is 100% internal. It is entirely within your control. That's the space where the opinion diode operates. It's the conscious, rational process you insert between the external event, the comment, the review, the compliment, and your inner response. Without this diode, we're just emotional receivers, helplessly tossed about by the chaotic signals of the world. With it, we become discerning engineers of our own inner peace. Let's first look at the forward bias of our diode, how it processes praise. Praise feels good, doesn't it? A compliment can be a highlight of our day, but the Stoics warned of its subtle poison. When we become dependent on praise, our self-worth becomes a fragile thing, outsourced to the whims of others. We start performing for applause rather than for virtue. Our ego swells, making us brittle and defensive. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, constantly reminded himself of this. He wrote, "Does a precious stone lose its value if it is not praised? And what of gold, ivory, purple, a lyre, a dagger, a flower, a bush? Your character, your virtue is that precious stone. Its value is intrinsic. It does not change one bit whether the entire world sings its praises or ignores it completely." So, when praise comes, the opinion diode activates. It allows the signal to pass through, but it filters it. The raw emotional charge of flattery that feeds the ego is grounded. What's left is the data. For example, a colleague says, "That presentation was brilliant." The unfiltered mind thinks, "I'm brilliant. They love me. They like me." This creates attachment and a future fear of not being seen as brilliant. The mind with the opinion diode thinks, "The structure and delivery of that presentation were effective. This is useful feedback for future projects." Do you see the difference? The focus shifts from a judgment on you to an observation of you. You can feel gratitude for the kindness, you can appreciate the positive feedback, but you don't let it become the foundation of your self-esteem. You absorb the information, not the adulation. Now, let's examine the reverse bias, the diode's most protective function. This is how it blocks the pain of criticism. Criticism, especially when it's harsh or unfair, can feel like a physical blow. It triggers our deepest insecurities and can send us into a spiral of shame and anger. But again, we must apply the dichotomy of control. The other person's negative opinion is not in our control. Our response is. When criticism hits your opinion diode, the first step is not to react, but to analyze. The diode holds the criticism at arm's length and asks a simple, powerful question. Is any of this true? Let's break down the logic.
If the criticism is true or contains a kernel of truth, then the person has just given you a gift. It may be a poorly wrapped gift delivered with a terrible attitude, but it's a gift nonetheless, the gift of self-awareness. They have revealed a blind spot you can now work on. A Stoic welcomes this. You can say, "Thank you for this lesson," and use the data to improve. The diode allows this useful data to pass through while blocking the emotional venom it was delivered with. If the criticism is entirely false, born of malice or misunderstanding, then it is simply an error. It's noise. Why would you be harmed by someone else's mistake? As Epictetus would say, if someone thinks you are a bad person, that is their problem to deal with, not yours. Their flawed judgment doesn't have to become your reality. In this case, the diode blocks the signal completely. It recognizes the input as a relevant noise and prevents it from penetrating your inner citadel. This isn't about becoming an unfeeling robot or ignoring all feedback. It's the exact opposite. It's about becoming a master of feedback. It's about engaging with the world from a position of strength, not vulnerability. Building this diode takes practice. It starts with mindfulness, pausing before you react. It's strengthened by journaling, dissecting the feedback you receive on paper. And it's maintained by constantly reminding yourself where your true worth lies. Not in the fleeting opinions of others, but in the stable, unbreakable fortress of your own character. Start building your diode today and watch as you become the calm, unshakable governor of your own emotional world.